Hey KU fans, welcome to KU Sports Extra over here in Kansas City, Missouri. I'm Tait, joined by Keegan, and that is the Sprint Center where we just did a little bit of Big 12 Media Day. A little bit, a lot bit, depending on your perspective. But one day, all 10 coaches, athletes from various schools, 3, 4, sometimes 2, it didn't matter. But KU had Frank Mason, Devontae Graham, Josh Jackson, Landon Lucas, and of course, Bill Self here today. Tom, first thing that jumped out to you, did you learn anything in there?
I learned a lot, actually,
okay,
but I spent a lot of time talking to Bob Huggins. I do that every year just because I think he's one of the most interesting figures in college basketball.
And so does every coach in this conference. There's a lot of love for Huggins.
Yeah.
You know, that you see that in a day like this.
He's a good guy. He just doesn't have any phoniness to it.
Right.
This is a hard job, and you got to be hard. You got to coach hard, and he does that. Self-coaches hard, and you know, they don't apologize for it.
Right.
Because in the end, they make the players better people, and more importantly, in the moment, better players,
Yeah.
but in the long run, better people.
Sure, yeah. Kansas, by far the biggest attraction today. I mean, the table with the 4 players sitting there at once, swamped. 5, 6, 7 deep media members trying to get in, get some answers, get some questions asked, those kinds of things. Same with Bill Self when he was at the podium. All the coaches talked to in a bigger press conference that gave everybody an opportunity. I know you got to talk to Josh Jackson one of the first times, if not the first extended time for you. You're going to write about that tomorrow. But what do you think of him so far, first impressions?
Well, just very genuine guy who's very down to earth and very smart,
Right.
and enjoying his college experience no matter how long or short it lasts. Most people think it'll be 1 year. And he's just enjoying it and learning from his older teammates. He's fortunate to step into a team that with or without him would have been really good
Right.
and really experienced. So he doesn't have to make it up on the fly.
Yeah, I agree. I think by far my favorite part of today was something that Coach Self said about Josh Jackson. First of all, he announced, and in no uncertain terms, and he's done this before, we've had it in the paper, he said it before, we expect Josh Jackson to be here 9 months. He said, nobody's holding their breath that he's going to be here longer than that. So, because I think somebody asked him about, hey, is it going to be a one-and-done situation? And Self, absolutely, yes, it will be. But the thing that he followed that up with was the cool part. He said, he will be here 9 months, but the thing that's great about Josh Jackson is the kid has unpacked his bags. Those were Self's words. He is invested in being a college athlete,
It's interesting you said that,
college
'cause that's
student.
exactly what I saw.
It's perfect, yeah, and it's a great way to put it. He's a teammate, he's a Jayhawk, he's a college student, and he's not just here because he has to be. He's here, yeah, he does have to be, but he also wants to be, and he's
You go to
invested.
college to learn it. He's
Yeah.
learning from his coaches and his teammates.
Absolutely, I thought that was one of the coolest things.
And his professors.
There you go, no doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. And he's the kind of kid that it seems like he will actually take advantage of that too. What else about KU, real quick?
Well, you just look at the 4 players they have sitting there.
Right.
And you realize, wow,
Right.
that's a
Well
ton
put.
of experience from 3 of them.
Sure.
And a ton of talent from all of them
Well,
as well.
and that tells you too, when you see them in that setting, in that environment, Josh Jackson doesn't stand out as clearly the younger guy. He doesn't look it, he doesn't act it, he doesn't talk it, he doesn't sound it. He fits in with those 3 guys, and I think that's a great sign for this team.
And he doesn't stand out as clearly the best player.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can't tell that at the table, but my point is, this is a really good, balanced team.
Right.
He's a lot more fortunate than Andrew Wiggins to walk onto a team with this much experience.
Not a walk-on. He's a scholarship guy. But
Yeah.
one thing too about the Big 12 conference being Big 12 Media Day, it seemed like whether they brought it up on their own or they were asked about it by media members, almost every coach and several players here from other teams talked about Kansas as the prohibitive favorite to win a 13th straight. They talked about the streak, most often in a situation of, are you tired of it? Is it this year you're going to break it? And man, that thing just keeps coming up and keeps coming up. There's a lot of respect for it. Jamie Dixon, who's new to the league, blown away. TCU's new coach, blown away by what Self's been able to do, 12 in a row. It's his first taste of it, his first experience of it. It was cool to see how much that got talked about, and it makes sense because that's what everybody wants to know at an event like this. Who's going to win the league? Who's the best team in the league? Who's the best player in the league? Well, it's Kansas. There's no question, and that was loud and clear to them.
Yeah, West Virginia's very confident. Has 3 very experienced guards.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a team to finish second, I think right today. And hey,
That's what it's
in
about.
their minds, they're here trying to get the conference title.
Sure.
Who knows?
Sure. And they all said, hey, until somebody can win at Allen Fieldhouse, it's going to be tough to knock Kansas off the top, and that's obvious. You guys know that. So anyway, we'll have all kinds of stuff. I've got a feature on the streak. Tom's got more about Josh Jackson. We'll have a notebook, and Bobby Nightingale behind the cameras doing all kinds of videos and blogs, and check it out all day, all night, all week, KUsports.com. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra from the Sprint Center.